Pleasure to be with you this morning. Thank you again to everyone at WealthArc for putting this event together and for the invitation. For those of you who don't recognize the brand Refinitiv, it's the new name for the financial and risk business of Thomson Reuters. We were acquired on October 1st by Blackstone, and so we transitioned the brand to Refinitiv. So I wanted to put my presentation in context. So you heard from Adam today, and he presented the 4 C's, which is really the theme of the event. And the first one he talked about was data consolidation. And I hope you remember the first slide that Adam showed with the VisiCalc, the predecessor to Excel, introduced in 1978. So I wanted to dive a little deeper into data consolidation and why even discussing data consolidation in wealth management. So my premise is that data consolidation can actually help create a smarter wealth advisor. And specifically, my premise is that the combination of financial markets data, so news, research, equity, fixed income, with client account data, your client account data, portfolio balances, enriched by artificial intelligence, will help create intelligent advice, will help create a smarter advisor. There are 3 trends in this context of a smarter advisor and data consolidation. We see at Refinitiv 3 main trends affecting data consolidation. The first one is what I would call data engineering. And here we're really talking about financial markets data, the type of data that Refinitiv provides. So the question is really how, as wealth advisors, do you manage this tremendous amount of data that you need to power your applications? Of course, if you're using a pre-built platform like what we sometimes refer to as desktops, you might have little need to manage this information. But ingesting and managing this tremendous amount of financial data remains a major pain point for wealth advisors. So preparing the data for analysis usually requires a significant amount of time and resources that you would rather use to extract the data and provide insights to your clients. For instance, if you look at quantitative asset management, 80% of their time is spent on analyzing the data, and only 80% of the time is spent on preparing the data, and only 20% on analyzing it. So I'm not suggesting that wealth management is as data intensive as quantitative asset management, but you also need some work to turn data into the right form. Sometimes you may need to extract just the data fields that you need for your analysis. Sometimes you may need to reformat the data for your internal programs to ingest it, or you may need to be mapping some identifiers. So as you see, it's not about big data, it's about smart data, identifying quality data in order to provide advice, financial advice smart advice to your clients. And it's like really searching for a needle in a large haystack. And here, data engineering can transform data management and help you harness the data more efficiently. The second trend, now we're shifting to your client account data, and that's what I call account aggregation. So the challenge here, in the typical multi-custodian framework, the challenge for independent wealth managers is to compile a 360 view of your client's assets and liabilities, no matter where they hold it. And this data usually sits with different custodian banks. So the idea is really to aggregate this data into a single interface. And this is usually performed via an application programming interface, an API, which is an intelligent conduit that allows for the flow of data between different systems in a controlled fashion. And this is really the core of WealthArc's technology. And here you want to look for a technology provider that gets clean data with the availability from the largest number of institutions. And so the third trend, so once you have combined financial markets data with your client account data, we believe that by adding a layer of artificial intelligence on top of this data, this is what will then create intelligent advice, intelligence information. And so the best example I can give is one of the technologies we have developed at Refinitiv, which is called intelligent tagging. So the whole idea behind intelligent tagging is to take large amount of unstructured data and turn that into a precise advantage for wealth advisors. So if you take, for instance, any document, a news article, a research report, a blog post, each entity in the document will be tagged with a set of metadata and then given a relevance score indicating how centric that entity is to the containing document. And in turn, it helps you reveal trends, patterns, gaps, and opportunities. So if you take, for instance, imagine a wealth advisor reading a news article, maybe on lately on Carlos Ghosn. He's been facing these allegations around financial misconduct. Intelligent tagging will actually enrich the article with tags so that as an advisor, as a wealth manager, you can fully give an interpretation of the story. First, the scope of the story. What are the relationships between Renault, Nissan, Mitsubishi, and maybe the suppliers and customers? Sometimes an article may not give a direct reference to a company or an individual, but there may be a hidden relationship which intelligent tagging helps uncover. And the second one is really help you as a wealth advisor fully interpret the impact of the story on your client portfolio. And that's also quite important, is really which of my clients are impacted by the latest market developments, and is this a positive or negative impact? So as a conclusion, again, the combination of financial markets data with your client account data enriched by this layer of artificial intelligence will create intelligent advice. And so what does it look like? What does a smart advisor look like? The best example I can give you is this slide. I realize it's a bit maybe dark and small for the people in the back of the room to see, but this is really a screenshot of a prototype that Refinitiv has been working on, integrating potentially WealthArc's technology to aggregate account data. And you can see here that this is a dashboard for wealth advisor to have a 360 view of all their clients. Also to look at news information, but in the context of the client portfolios, right? There is a significant event or news on aluminium. How is this impacting my portfolios? And is this a positive or negative signal? And again, all of this is possible thanks to data consolidation. So it may seem as an obscure topic, but if you really articulate it, it really can help create a smarter advisor and a better user experience. Thank you.